Today I'm going to paint a very bright yellow autumn tree on the background of a blue bright sky. Hi friends, I'm Olga Koelsch, watercolor artist, teacher and a book author. Welcome to my studio. I fixed my paper on a mat. I place my mat on paper tape to create some angle. I'm watering the surface of the paper. Once you notice that the paper is not very glossy, then it's about time to start. Firstly, I will paint the tree. Before we paint, let's agree that sun shines from the top left. I have my brightest paints on the top, lemon yellow. I also have cadmium yellow. It's a bit warmer and darker, so I also add it around. And I already can add a bit of Indian yellow, cadmium orange. So play around with your yellows. While the paper is wet, try to distribute it differently. I'm dancing with my brush. I try to create different moves, different directions, and the more we move towards the bottom of the tree, the darker the leaves because of the shadows. So I add raw sienna and raw sienna. I imagine there will be another tree somewhere around, and then I have light red, burnt sienna also will be good. Just brush strokes, and a bit more of dark. Let's finish with burnt sienna and some ultramarine blue. Ultramarine blue with burnt sienna will give you beautiful deep shadows of brown. You can already start thinking about tree trunks. Maybe a couple of them behind, which we can't see. Let's stop here and dry this layer. Now once the paper is dry, let's paint the sky. I will mix ultramarine blue. I recommend you to prepare a good amount of your paints. I will add cobalt blue here, so it would be enough to cover all the sky. And the more I'm getting to the bottom, the more turquoise it will be, so I will use phthalo blue. Now I load my brush with ultramarine blue and cobalt blue mixes, and I begin to paint the sky. The mix should be bright, and once I'm reaching the tree, I hold my brush somewhere in the middle, and I began to dance around the top, around the leaves, and keep an eye on my graded wash. I switch to the tip of the brush, painting the sky, then distributing, and then I switch to my phthalo blue mix, and I keep filling in the sky and making a beautiful shape of the tree. We have another tree here, so I do the same. Use the tip of the brush to paint. Firstly, it's a little bit rough, but then I will go back and make some corrections. So here and there I can see through the leaves. I can see the sky through the leaves. So now I'm painting negative space. So I'm painting around the leaves, just to use your fingers. That will create those textural brush strokes. You can combine with dry brush strokes. Another trick is to use one of the old brushes. You see, this brush has seen better times. So I just use it to drag out blues. So I use it to drag out the blues from those spots to create even more fluffy, lacy shape. I will finish the sky part. I will go back to my phthalo mix, dilute it a bit more, so it will be very light now. Something around here will be the horizon line. I wash my brush, dry it with a paper towel, and at the bottom I can make a bit softer brush strokes, more crispy on the top because sun shines, that creates a big contrast, and at the bottom it's more. Let's add more contrast to the trees. Now I will use my brighter paints, cadmium orange, and with dry brush I can add much more texture. Just using dry brush strokes. Red light, a bit smaller, using mostly tip of the brush, and moving more towards the bottom. And let's finish it with burnt sienna. Very meditative process. What's important that you try to avoid doing the same brush stroke, the same movements. Try to switch between the trees so your painting is not getting boring and you are not getting bored as well. I would like to add the earth. The earth is covered with autumn leaves. I use a lot of cadmium orange, but of course I want to mute it down with the help of the same browns I used. It can be even something green, a bit of green spot. We can see this dry grass shining through the leaves coverage. And then I switch to a liner. Liner is a brush with a longer bristle. I use Van Dyke ultramarine blue. So one of your darkest browns. I try to hold it freely, mostly at the top. And I start to work on the tree trunk. One, another one. Branches, dancing with the brush. Try to make all these movements random, not repeating each other. So look at the ornament you already created with the leaves on the top. I would like to make the tree trunk a bit thicker on the bottom. I missed the moment and lost a little bit of the beauty in this tree, so I just go with a raw sienna, red orange for this tree, and I will add a tree trunk. I would like to add a couple more of those bright burnt sienna brush strokes and branches, not only inside the tree. A couple of branches can be already outside, and of course some shadow. As a final touch, I use just everything I have on my palette. Sun shines from the left. As a final touch, I would like to emphasize the tree trunks. I use some of plastic rulers and just grab it. And a couple of branches inside. Thank you so much for painting with me. I hope you enjoyed the process. I'm looking forward to know what would you like to paint next. See you soon. Bye bye.